friends, my name is Putu Dessy Derri Sandi. You can call me Dessy. I'm from 6B class. So in this occasion, I would like to explain about surprise, character and characterization in short story of Snows of Kilimanjaro. So now we are going to the next explanation. The first is surprise. Surprise is one of the elements in a story that has functioned to improve the feeling of readers after they read the story. There are two surprises in short story of Snows of Kilimanjaro. The first surprise is, in that story, Harry is hiding his feeling by covering up. It can be seen from the line, "You bits, you read bits, that's poetry. I'm full of poetry. Written poetry." And Helen said, "Stop, Harry, why do you have to turn into a devil now?" And the second surprise, there is a small plane comes and it only can take one passenger. So because of Harry want to get his treatment for his leg, it will make Helen cannot decide. And the end of the story, we know that Harry passed away. And the second is character. We know that one of the important elements that should be existing in such story is character. According to Kenny, 1960, character in story can be in form of person, a figure, an image, object, or animal. There are several types of character as follows. The first is major character. Major character is the character that have big influence in the configuration of story. The major character will give big contribution in the story. The second is minor character. Minor character is the character that is not become the main focus in the story. Minor character usually gives small influence or contribution in the story. The third is protagonist character. Protagonist character is the character that has characteristics to describe kindness in that story. Fourth is antagonist character. Antagonist character is the character who always tries to attract protagonist character. Antagonist character has a bad character or evil nature. Fifth is dynamic character. Dynamic character is the character that changes significantly during the course of story. Sixth is static character. Static character is the character who does not change during the whole story. 7 is ruin character. Ruin character is the character that develops complex a figure and a story. They are more realistic and show more depth in their personalities. And the last is flat character. Flat character is the character who have a little bit realistic personality and it is totally different with a round character. Based on our understanding, there are 4 characters in Snows of Kilimanjaro. The first is Harry. In this case, Harry belongs to major character because Harry is the main focus in that story, and almost all of the lines tell about Harry. And you can see that this is also the example of the line that tell about Harry, and this is the continue of the previous one that tell about Harry, as you can read that in the slide. Actually, the words I and he in that lines refers to Harry. That lines tell that Harry thinks that he will die. His interlocutors say that he will not die if he doesn't give up. After that, there is debating from each other because of different opinions. And the second character is Helen. Helen has role as major character because she has big contribution in that story. We know that many lines in that story tell us about Helen. For instance, we can see that and also read. This is also the example of the lines that tells about Helen. Actually, the word "she" in that lines refers to Helen. In that story, tells that Helen lost her first husband when she was young. She liked drinks, coats, soda, and bottle of wine. That was before the lovers. After she had the lovers, she didn't drink so much. Third is Bolo. In that story, Molo belongs to minor character because she doesn't give big contribution in that story, or it's known as the supporting character. It can be seen from the conversation like this. You can read that. And from that conversation, we know that Molo is a servant who doesn't give big influence in that story. And next is Compton. Compton has role as the minor character. He has role as a supporting character who doesn't have a big contribution in the story. He only appears in a few sections. This is the example of the lines that tells about the Compton. You can read that. From that, we know Compton is someone who is the Harry imagination that will help Harry to go from this place. And next is about the characterization. Characterization is a literary device that to explain and describe detailed character in a story. It's very important for the writer to understand the role of characterization in story. The first is about the characterization of Harry. Harry is a writer that has spent his time to marry with a various rich woman in order to have a life of luxury. And second is, Harry has indifference and cynical attitude, pessimistic character toward his condition. And the third is, Harry always likes to drink alcohol that makes his health is getting worse, even though her wife always forbid him. Next is, Harry always treats his wife badly and call her rich bitch. And next is about Harry doesn't trust love. He always fights with her wife because he doesn't truly love her wife. And next is about Harry feels regret because he doesn't develop his skill and he blames his wife about that. And next is about the evidence. There are several evidence that tell about the characterization of Harry. The first evidence refers that Harry is writer. You can read that, the example of the line that tell about that. And the second evidence refers that Harry really liked to drink alcohol and indifference toward his condition. You can read that. The example that tell about Harry really liked to drink alcohol and indifference toward his condition. And the third evidence refers that Harry is a pessimistic man. And this is the example of that lines that tell about that. You can read that. And the fourth evidence refers that Harry always treats his wife badly. You can read that. The example of the line that tells about that. And the fifth evidence refers that Harry doesn't love Helen. And you can read that. The example that Harry doesn't love Helen. And the last is evidence refers that Harry feels regret because he doesn't develop his skill and he blames his wife. This is the example of that statement. You can read that. Or the evidence. Next is about the characterization of Helen. The first is Helen is Harry's wife that always accompanies him. The second is Helen is very kind, optimistic, caring, and passionate woman. The third is Helen is a middle-aged woman who loves Harry so much. The next is before Helen married with Harry, she has dark serial life together. Next is about Helen had her first husband who was passed away when she was young. Next is about Helen lost one of two her children were killed in a plane crash. Next is about Helen is falling in love with Harry because she likes to read his writing. And the last is about Helen and Harry do not have a good relationship. There are several evidence that tells about the characterization of Helen. The first evidence is refers that Helen is an optimistic woman. You can read that. The example of the lines that tells about that. And the second evidence refers that Helen is kind, caring, and patient woman. You can read that. And the third evidence refers that Helen loves Harry so much. You can read that. And fourth evidence refers that Helen is middle-aged woman. You can read that. And fifth evidence refers that she had her first husband who was passed away when she was young. You can read that. Yes, and follow the line that tell about that statement. And the sixth evidence refers that in the past Helen liked drink. This is also the example of the line that tells about the in the past Helen liked a drink. Next is about next evidence refers that Helen lost one of two her children were killed in a plane crash. And this is so the example of the line that tell about that statement. Next evidence refers that Helen is falling in love with Harry because she likes to read his writing. So you can read that. This is also the evidence that talks about the Helen is falling in love with Harry because she likes to read his writing. And the non-evidence refers that Helen and Harry do not have a good relationship. And this is also the example of the evidence that tell about the Helen and Harry do not have a good relationship. You can see that and read it.
Okay friends, thank you for watching my video. I hope you understand about my explanation and see you!